So in Buenos Aires, they have four main forms of public transportation. The ones that are used the most are the bus and the trains. So they have buses all over the place, especially in the capital. So if you're in like in the city part of it at least. So right there in the city part of it, there are buses that will take you to any part of that part of the downtown Buenos Aires that you want, basically. And so that's what most people take. That's what we would take all the time, especially in one of my areas. That would basically be how we would get around in that area. The problem with taking bus is that it's kind of expensive. It's not extremely expensive. There are much more expensive ways of getting around, but you will wind up spending like 50 to 60 pesos a week around there. And each month you get around 700 pesos. So like figuring that in, it's a pretty large chunk. Um, but yeah, and then aside from that, there are the trains, which are mainly used to get to further away places. Like if there's a place that's about an hour away and you have a choice between a bus and a train, I would generally recommend the train, just because you will get there faster, and also there's no stops other than bus stops or train stations. If you take the bus, it can get stuck in traffic and stuff like that. But yeah, so it those are the two biggest forms, and then there are two others. There's taxis, which everyone knows how that works. Then they have these other things that are called remises, which are really similar to taxis, except it's more of a private thing, and it generally costs less. But you have to be careful because there are some areas that people will set up. They call them phantom remises, and basically they're illegal remises, which can't or they're sometimes faster and cheaper, but they can also be more dangerous at times. I've never heard of any missionaries ever having any problems with them, but there have been stories of people getting kidnapped or getting assaulted in like the illegal remises. So I would recommend that you or if you ever are in Argentina, that you take a regular one, that you make sure that it's approved by the government.